Hey YouTube, I'm Tycondrius here doing action figure review for more Batman or The Batman Spinmaster stuff. Now this is another set that I picked up a while back but didn't get around to reviewing. And as you can see, all the figures are already out of the box, but we'll do a quick look at the box. Now I will say the box is not in the best of shape. I held on to it just for the review and I never got around to it. So there's actually on the top of the box, if I just bring it down, you can see there's paint splotches on it where I had this stored under where I was doing some painting and it got stuff splattered on it. But all in all, it's still in the same black and red packaging that all the Batman Spinmaster stuff came in. The only, it is the Batcave set, so it comes with two figures, the Batcave playset and a vehicle. If I flip around the back of the box, it's probably the best way to do it. So you can see the contents, if it wasn't so shiny. You can see the contents. So you get a motorcycle, a Batman figure, a penguin figure, this archway, and these two display pieces for the Batcave. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the box out of the way and try and move everything up onto the setup, and we'll have a quick look at all the stuff that comes with. So bear with me a moment. I'll bring in the bits and bobs for this set and hopefully have the room to do this. So there is assembly required when you get this set, and I don't think there was sticker placement required. I think these came pre-applied. I want to say they did. It's been a while. But I'm just going to move things around. Okay, Penguin, Batman, and his gear. And up over the base. So there is a simulated turntable for the Bat bike. There's a kickstand for the bike. So probably the best place to start off this review is with the figures, and then we'll move on to the accessory parts or the actual setup. So for the most part, this is the penguin figure. It is the same standard penguin figure. Bear with me a moment. I'm going to just put the camera down so you can see all the bits and bobs that come with this thing. There is quite a bit of stuff. So you got this archway, which I will review last because it's a bit bulky and in the way, but we'll go through some of the other stuff first. So as I said, we'll go through the figures and their starting accessories. So you have a basic penguin figure, which is based on Colin Farrell's portrayal of the character. He is the exact same figure as the standard one. In fact, if I do these reviews in time, it'll be the same one that came with the 3-pack, except we're having the muddied footprint on him. He comes with the same umbrella accessory that version came with, which goes into his hand, and the sword piece comes out just like on the other one. The other accessory he comes with, which wasn't included with the muddied version, is this suitcase that opens up to reveal a big stack of cash. So it is a hollow piece. It is a separate piece. It's not glued to it, so you need to put it on either side of it, but I think it's supposed to go on that side where the clips are, and it can just clip into place. And you can fit his hand over the handle, and you can hold on to his big fat stack of cash and be running around the place with his deadly umbrella and his money. So for the Batman figure, he does come with two of the batarangs, which are pretty much the same batarangs that came with the previous figure. You can just leave them up on one of the desks that comes in the set. It comes with a Grapple Launcher, which is done in red plastic. And the one big difference between this Batman figure and the other ones, if I get one of the other ones, I did have them sitting in the Batmobile, which I will bring in at the end of this review, because what's a Batcave without having a Batmobile? I'm going to grab one of the Batman figures. This is the muddied variant that came with the 3-pack set. But it is essentially the exact same figure with one glaring difference, you actually have the Robert Pattinson unmasked Batman head, which is, I believe, exclusive to this set. So it's one of the main buying points of the set is to get that. He does come with an actual accessory that is the bat cowl that will fit over his head to give him, it's almost, it's not the best look of it, but you can kind of line it up so his eyes go through the cowl. But it is like a separate part. I do love the fact that they gave him the black eyeliner underneath his eyes for when he has the cowl on, so you can just about see his eyes through it. It is kind of a nice touch. The other Batman accessory he comes with, now I'm not going to pull it off the stand, but it's the exact same one that came with the standard one. Just move him over here. So it clips onto the base, but it's just done in a slightly lighter grey. But it is the same armor piece that clips over his body. So it just clips over his body and gives him just a bit more armor on the front. And it's the exact same one. If I just unhook it, it is the exact same piece that came with the standard Batman as well. So there's no difference. So I'm just going to move him aside for now. Well, trying not to knock everything over off screen. But he does come with that grapple launcher. He doesn't use this in the movie because if you've watched the movie, his actual grapple launchers are in here, embedded into his gauntlets, which is a kind of neat, interesting design. Articulation wise, these are standard articulation as the other figures. Head is on a ball joint. Arms can move around, can go out that much. Single joint elbows. Kick forward, has a single jointed knee, but instead of having a swivel at the knee part, it just swivels at the boot side to side. There is a thigh swivel, and he will fit the bike, so we'll get him onto that in a bit. But for now, I'll just move him off to the side while we go through the other accessories that this set comes with. Penguin is the same, kick forward, single jointed knee, but the difference is his knee swivels at the actual knee, whereas Batman is under it, under the boot. You have single jointed elbow with a swivel, nothing on the wrists, arms can go out that much, rotate all the way around, and head is on a bit of a ball joint. There's a bit of up and down on it. Batman doesn't have too much on that, but he is pretty much the same figure as all the other Penguin figures. There's no difference. So the other big accessory parts of this set that you get is a bat computer, which is pretty nicely done. I'm just going to tilt my camera up a touch. Sorry if my finger's in the way of the lens. So there we go. So you get a nice back computer. I'm trying to remember if these are stickers that I applied. I have a feeling I didn't. They could have been pre-applied. I want to say they were, but I can't be 100%. So there could be some, there is assembly for the piece at the back. I know that, and I'll go through that when I get around to it, because there is a few action features on that. But for the most part, these are just static. I think the only bits you have to plug in is these bits. You have to plug them into it on the back. But other than that, they're pretty much a solid piece. So the other accessory which comes in this is this workbench. As you can see, it has gauntlets. These are molded onto the bench. They don't come out. It's a two-tone workbench. So these pieces are separate, but they're plugged in place. So you have like what's supposed to be I believe a batarang case, or it's just a single batarang, because there's another one here. It could be just a case of batarangs or just the single batarangs on the thing. There is some detailing work, as in like there's tools, screwdriver, a 90-degree angle bar. There's some paper, stuff like that are sculpted on, but they're not painted. If you were to hit this with a bit of extra paint apps, this would probably look pretty good. He does have this removable cowl piece, which does sit in here onto this. And then he does have this movable chest armor piece. So there's a kind of fake dummy chest piece, so it just sits in place on that. And then it is hollow on the back, as is the other one. It is pretty hollow, so there's not much air going on with that. We'll bring the bike in near the end. It does come with this turntable, which is a fairly big hollow piece. I'm not sure if that's dust on mine, or it's this black paint wash. There's a bit of, it looks like wash on the grid, but I think it could be just age because I hadn't done anything with this. So if you have the Batmobile, it doesn't particularly sit on this thing, and I don't think it's designed to, because you don't see the Batmobile. If I remember correctly, you don't see the Batmobile on the turntable in the movie. You just see the bike. Like, it doesn't really fit it. You can put the Batmobile under this without that turntable, but I believe the Batmobile was not situated on this turntable in the movie. The other thing you get is the Bat Cycle, or the Bat Bike. It's a nicely done representation of the bike in the movie. There is a fold-out kickstand for it to stand, because if you don't use it, it just flops side to side. So you do kind of need that kickstand. It will sit quite nicely on the kickstand. And as I said, you can get Mr. Wayne, aka Batman, to sit on or ride on this thing. So I'll just get his hand onto the handlebars. Now, bear with me if I'm doing this off screen. It's just a little bit tricky with the camera. So you can get him to sit on the bike, which isn't too bad. So it doesn't look too bad. Unfortunately, his neck can't really angle up that he's looking in the direction that, you know, he's driving in. But then again, you can just imagine that he is. It's all part of the imagination of play. But the front spokes don't turn. It's just a solid piece. So, but they do roll quite nicely. And if you want them just to be on the turntable with the bike, it doesn't look too bad. So that brings us on to the last part of this thing. So I'm going to have to get Batman for this, because there's some action features, and I'm hoping I can do this reasonably well. So I'm going to move stuff out of the way again, because this thing is big and bulky and takes up a lot of space, and I don't know if I have the space to do everything with this. I could probably do some edits, but I don't want to. My skills with doing the old editing is not the best. So this thing has a wash on it. There's this brick texturing going on just on the inside of it, and on the sides it has this kind of, right, I'm going to flip it upside down. So it has this kind of texturing going along it as well. It is only done on one side. If I flip it around the back, it is just plain plastic on the back with screws that hold everything together. When you get this, these leg pieces are a separate piece, so you do have to attach those to it. There is some screw holes on the side of it, but that's not too bad. Now, if we can just get this in back here again. So there is two action features on this thing. First of all, there's this sort of, it's supposed to be a breakaway piece. It's very tough to break away. How does it work again? I think it's, yeah, it just lifts up, and it's supposed to kind of, you know, be a removable breakaway part. It is clipped into place, and it's supposed to be like you push one of the villains over the railing. And then the other part is there is a trapdoor. Now, you kind of have to force it down. It's not a really loose one. There's no activation on it that I could find. So it is a bit of a shame that, like, even when this thing comes out, it doesn't seem to activate it. It just clips in place. There's nothing really. That's probably a bit better. So the way they show it on the box is they show like a character up there, and then just falling through this thing, as you can see, and then you just push that, and then hope for the best, and hopefully Penguin, get off there. Penguin gets jammed in there and then drops to his doom. So you can see it is supposed to be some sort of action feature. It's not spring loaded in the sense that you don't press a button and the whole thing just opens up. It would have been cool if that was the way it worked, but it doesn't do that. There is little buttons that kind of pop in and hold it in place, but you just kind of push the figures through. And the same with this thing. It would have been nicer if it was a bit more robust, in the sense that it's supposed to come apart easier and drop off. just really tough to do. So I don't know how kids would play with this, in the sense that it is a tough thing to get them to clip back into place and stuff like that. So it is a bit of a finicky thing. And again, it would have been nice if this was spring loaded to some degree, so that you press maybe something down here and not just popped out. There is that. So it is a feature, if you want to call it that. I don't know if you want to, because it's not the best of features, but the set itself does look nice together. Again, like from a movie standpoint, Penguin was never in the Batcave. In fact, you don't see any villains at all in the Batcave, so it was just a made-up action feature for this. But you do have the computer and other stuff, and if you have other 3 3/4 inch scale or 4 inch scale figures, it will fit nicely with that. This is Arkham Asylum Two-Face, if I remember correctly, from the older Mattel DC Multiverse line. So it does stand pretty well. If I can get Batman to bloody stand, it would be nice. Come on, there you go. So it is a nice set. You know, I think it was an Amazon exclusive, if I recall. But overall, it wasn't too bad, and at the time it wasn't too pricey. I'm not sure what price it is now, or if it's still available. As I said, I did get this a while back, so it is a bit of an older item. But like, you can interact with other guys. Wow, he just magically stood up down in the thing. Alright. But yeah, overall, it's not a bad set. Like, you do get a good bang for your buck, as I'd imagine. You get 2 figures at least, a whole bunch of accessories, and some nice display stuff. So it is a reasonable representation of the Batcave from the Batman movie. I mean, after all, the Batcave in it wasn't really a cave. It was just a disused underground, or is it underground railroad place. So it wasn't really a Batcave, as in like the depictions of other versions of the Batcave. So it was unique in that respect. But other than that, it's a not too bad set. So hope you enjoyed this review. Probably not a quick review. I hope you enjoyed this review of the Batman Spinmasters Batcave set. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this review. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, have a great day. Cheers, guys.